Stereo mic.
That was so crazy. That was absolutely bananas. We are so grateful to the officer who had basically come from an airport, a U.S. officer who had basically come, a customs officer. Is that what they're called? Border agent, customs officer?
U.S.C.B.P. officer.
U.S.C.B.P. officer who basically came from an airport to this land border.
POA.
Point of entry. And knew what visa, what work visa I was applying for.
Thank
Therefore,
God,
he was able to like just.
He was the only one there.
Bless us with basically like doing the correct paperwork required for me to get.
No one knew what was going on.
Oh my gosh!
No one knew what that visa was.
They're like, what is it called? And I'm like, ah.
This will be an everlasting love. This will.
Oh, shit. Welcome to the loft.
Show us around, Michael.
Well, over here we have the grand suite. This is a nice TV right here.
I've crossed deserts for miles, swam water for time, searching places to find a piece of something to call mine.
Hey,
Jeez.
you made it back.
Woo!
Are you sweating buckets?
Yes, I was sweating buckets. Yes. My
Usually
gosh.
Usually when you stop talking, I know it's gangbusters.
I stopped talking, all right. That was insane. Okay, let's just roll that back. Roll that experience back.
Did we get it? Did you get it?
Got it. So.
And a year.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we basically park our car at this parking lot that people say to park at. It's called
Tello parking.
Tello's parking, right near the Tijuana border. Tijuana border? Yeah, Tijuana U.S. border. Tijuana, Mexico. All right, here we are. We're almost in Tijuana. Mike thinks he can see a border wall on that mountain. Never have I ever thought I would say those words. A border wall on a mountain. Can't see it right now, but I guess.
I think once you can kind of see it. There you go. You can see it now.
Okay.
See it? That big like line. I think that's it.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Oh my God.
It's hardcore.
And then, so you park your car there, it's a parking lot, and then you basically walk across the border. And there are kind of all these locals walking in a certain direction, so we kind of just followed them. We hit a crossroads where there was a sign that was basically all in Spanish. And it said basically like pedestrian walkway this way or pedestrian walkway this way. Oh, what was that? And we were like, which one do we take?
Then people started asking us questions.
People started asking us in Spanish, like locals, like wondering if we knew. We didn't know. So then we just kind of followed the crowd where a majority of people went, which was one way. And then you basically see these gates, or like what do they
Turnstiles.
Turnstiles that Mike said he's seen before in pictures. And basically he goes, once we go across these turnstiles.
We're in Mexico.
We're in Mexico.
That's it.
And there's no going back. The turnstile goes one way.
That's right.
So I'm literally holding all the documentation, which is kind of bait, but I was like, whatever, I don't want to lose it. I don't want it to be in a backpack. I'll hold it. So it's clenched, literally up against my chest.
You're clenching.
We push.
You're clenching hard.
We push across the turnstiles. They're also like quite heavy. You're like, oh. And then you're in Mexico. You got to do about 2 of them. And then there's kind of just like this walkway, and it's Sunday today, and it was relatively quiet in terms of like leaving the U.S. So it felt a little bit deserted. We were then trying to figure out basically how we turn back, because we just wanted to go whoop straight back to the U.S. And we were trying to read all the signs, but they're all in Spanish. Before you completely leave the building, so you do a walkway and then there's the building, you have to put your stuff in like this, like, you know, scanner to make sure that you're not, I guess, bringing anything into Mexico that's dangerous. And then we asked that guy, for U.S. visa, where do we go? And he didn't know. So then we're like, oh shit, we're out here on our own.
We're out here, alright.
I was nervous we wouldn't even get cell phone service.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even think that we could not have cell phone service.
Yeah, we still got it.
So what would happen if we needed to...
because we're so close to the US.
Border? But like, what would happen if we didn't have service and we needed to call like 911? I was like, those were literally the thoughts running through my head. So then we see this other guard who's kind of basically at the very end.
He was like he's like in the corner.
Everything that you walk by, like you're now in Mexico. Like there's like convenience stores, you know, taxis saying like welcome to Tijuana, and this guy in a security uniform, older fella. We were like, hi, like, do you know where the U.S. how to get back to the U.S.? We're like, how do you get back to the U.S.? And the young guy who was like, this Mexico, that U.S. We're like, we know how we get back. I was like, how do you walk back? So this older man was so clutch, because he basically on his phone, Android, had the text to talk, Google Translate, and he literally pressed the button for me, and I was like, how do you get to the U.S. border? How do I walk to the U.S. border? And he was like, and he was like, down, left.
And it was the most like random alleyway ever.
Yeah. It was like this pathway that basically you have to go like
through another
turnstiles. They love their turnstiles, what we learned in Tijuana. Cross kind of traffic, so you jaywalk, and then it looks like there's a sign that says taxis. So you're like, taxis? Well, I'm not going to taxis. And then you're in this like strip mall plaza, and you have to basically like keep jaywalking straight to go across to basically where you see all these cars trying to get back into the U.S. And there's like a walkway there, even though there's signs that say don't walk, but there's a walkway there, and there's like a few people walking that way, so we can kind of like get a drift of like, okay, it's this direction. So we're going through this walkway, we're thinking, okay, hopefully this is the way back to the U.S. Now what does it look like? And we show up to basically this like completely enclosed walkway where you can see like the cars to your left, but there's like a big fence. You can't really basically go across the cars. So we're trying to get
just guessed at that point. We're like, this is the way to the U.S. So there's no signs though.
There are no signs.
Like, there are no signs this way to the U.S. border or anything like that. It was very like non-advertised.
Yeah, non-advertised. And there were 2 lines, and there was one that was totally empty, and then there was one that had like a lot of people. So we joined the one that had a lot of people, and we realized I think the one on the left is for either Nexus or if you're like disability is what we gathered.
That's what I thought too, because there's like much more older people.
Yeah, like
seniors.
Yeah, no signs even at the front of the line. Just kind of, I guess, know these things. So we're waiting in line, and we're probably like, how many people do you think we're
probably like 100?
100 people
I think.
back.
100?
150, I was going to say.
It was a big line.
And at that moment, I felt stressed.
Rachel got pretty quiet.
Stressed. no security in the line. So like, you never know what could happen in a line like that.
Yeah.
I was sweating. I was stressing. Yeah.
My poor honey. When we were walking to the border, this pickup truck full of armed guards with these massive guns rolled by. It was pretty intense. I've never seen those big guns before, but yeah, it was kind of nuts.
And it's crazy because so many people in our line, like, they didn't have a lot of documentation or even baggage with them. Like, they just were like, as if they're kind of just walking over to like waiting in line at a restaurant for a reservation. Like, there wasn't anything to them. So that was interesting. Must just be a regular occurrence kind of thing.
Yeah.
They don't need stuff when they go over.
Family, maybe.
Yeah. And then, so we're waiting in line, and we realized, because there was a big kind of progression forward every like 20 minutes, that they were like batching people. So they're like, okay, 20 people go, stop, 20 people go. So we're kind of like estimating how long it's going to take us. I'm like, Mike, how many batches of people do you think there's going to be before us? He goes, maybe 10. I'm like, oh my God, 10. And the 10 happened like again every like 20, 30 minutes. So I'm like, oh my God. Okay, just keep calm. Keep calm.
You looked good. You looked calm.
I feel like I look like fresh meat.
Kind of looked like fresh meat. I could see like beads of sweat drizzling off your face.
And the whole time I'm like, okay, don't freak out. You gotta keep calm so you know what you're gonna say when you get to the border. And then I think when we got
rehearsing the
closer,
lines?
yeah, I was rehearsing my lines of what I had to say. I don't know this terminology, like unless you
picked
know
it up.
visas.
No, you picked it up.
You know, like
You got it.
TN, L1,
You got it.
L2S, H1N1. No, that's the flu, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is it, H1? Isn't there one that's like
H1B1.
H1B1, non-H1N1?
That's right.
How are you supposed to know? Okay.
You got it. You got it, girl.
This is always the stuff he's been dealing with, not so much me.
That's right.
This morning he basically just like hands me all these documents and he goes, you might have to go by yourself. And I was like, what? What am I supposed to say? So then, okay, so then we go through, okay, so when we're close to basically the actual like gated area, so you're in this walkway and you see this gate, and there's two arms there that look like one speaks Spanish and English and one speaks purely English, but I'm sure they both speak Spanish. Basically, I felt more comfortable because I knew they had eyes on us.
Yeah, 100%.
So if anything was to happen, but 100 people back, they don't have eyes on you, okay? But 10 people back, you're like, okay. You know what? I was even making eye contact with one of the guards. I was smiling. Just in case. He goes, I've seen her face.
Bit of sympathy, love. I get it.
But what was great when we were also 10 people back is we noticed that there's a lot of like local entertainers that have basically like come to the area to hopefully get some money by entertaining people while they're in line. There was break dancers in the car lineup that we could hear from music and see, and then we had like these rappers, and he had this like a stereo around his neck, and I think they were roasting people in line.
They were.
I think they're like rapping, like freestyling, and then like
making fun of people's like shoes and stuff.
Yeah, I wonder what they said about us.
Oh no.
I think they're like, you're not from here, and let's just say a line just to make sure.
Probably.
You're not from here, are you? Nope.
Everyone's like, ah.
Yeah, everyone was laughing. In fact, they got an applause after us.
Really?
Yeah.
Inside the building.
We got inside the building.
Which looks like just like a customs at Pearson.
Yeah.
Like at an airport.
You wait to get called on. We had this young lady call us forward. She had a very friendly face. I said, hi there, I'm just here to apply for my work visa. He already has his visa. And she goes, oh, I'm new here. I'm not sure what'd she say? I'm not sure how to.
She's never done an L2S. And so she calls on like her colleague who's sitting kind of adjacent to her.
Yeah, like basically she's here. He's here. We're just in between.
And I guess he was free. And he's like, he kind of like begrudgingly took us.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, come on over here.
Yeah.
But he seemed pretty senior.
Yeah.
And and he was a nice guy.
And then he was basically the one who blessed us.
Because everywhere, basically, like, no one had seen this visa before, like the L2S at this border crossing, or at least most, like, everyone we spoke with. And so this guy who had worked at an airport POE, he's seen it a bunch of times.
Yeah, so he knew what to do.
He was great.
So he kind of just took over. He walked us to the area because he didn't have his stamp that is required to, I guess, like, give me the visa.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, does anyone have stamps? He, like, asked around. No one had stamps. He's like, all right, I gotta take you over there just to give you the stamp. But he, like, reassured us, which was so nice. He's like, it'll be straightforward.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll be straightforward.
They looked at some of our documents.
Yeah.
The I-129, the I-797, and...
These acronyms, though.
What else? I think that was
Marriage certificate.
Marriage certificate. But he didn't look at any supporting stuff like pay stubs,
tax return.
Proof of bona fide marriage.
Yeah. We had photos of a relationship printed out, just in case over the years to really prove this isn't, illegitimate. Yeah.
So we had a lot, but...
We had a big stack, which I think helped too. It looks like
it looks
you got your shit. So then we literally just waited for them to, like, do the paperwork, enter it into the computer. Again, he really took over and really helped us out big time. And I think even taught them kind of like what this visa is, which is great.
They were like, we didn't learn this in training.
Yeah. They were talking to each other and saying that. We're like...
So he's seen everything.
Yeah, so basically, because he's seen everything, he knew what to do. Woo!
We survived. Holy shit, that was nuts. So, Rach is now work authorized in the United States. Time to get working.
My lord. What a whirlwind of a process, from us literally picking up our marriage license, booking an appointment before that to get the marriage license, to getting married, getting a marriage certificate, coming down here to a point of entry to be able to basically show them your marriage certificate to be added to his work visa.
God. Nice little 9-hour commute. God.
Just here, not even to San Fran.
That's nuts.
How many hours of driving did it take you?
Round trip, 20.
The whole thing? Like from beginning to like from license to us going home right now?
Probably over 24 hours, I'd say. Like round trip.
Of driving?
Yeah.
Do you feel tired?
Yeah, we got to put together furniture tonight. It's gonna be lit. We're gonna have a little glass of wine to celebrate. We should have a glass of wine to celebrate, for sure.
Oh my god! Hey, we have wine in the back. Should we just crack that open?
I think so.
Honestly, incredibly grateful for. Again, you never know who you're gonna get, what their experience is, and this literally goes to show you that through, thankfully, a really positive experience that worked in our favor. But there's a lot of people with visa stories that you get someone who doesn't know what to do or want to really help you, or for some reason just doesn't feel like you have the exact documentation they're looking for,
that
whether that be true or
happens.
not. Like, they could be like, you got this, when they're like, oh, you said that sarcastically. Because that happened to him when he got denied. He didn't have like a...
Which time?
He didn't have an additional form that you didn't even need. Like, his lawyer didn't advise he needed. You don't need. So much proven that you don't need it that the next time he went, they didn't even ask for it, even though he had it printed.
Even look for it.
So you never know who you're going to get, what they're going to ask, how it's going to go.
Basically, it's an absolute gamble.
And again, it's just so humbling because you take for granted sometimes that you can work places, that you can be places, and then you don't realize, when you're not in a place that's home base, all that stuff isn't assumed. You have to...
You gotta do it.
Put through all the proper...
You gotta do it.
Go through all the proper hoops to actually even be granted the ability to work.
That's right.
And be here.
Crazy. Oh my god. I'm so glad this is done.
Anything else you want to say to wrap up this visa experience?
No, honestly, just you gotta get good advice. You gotta do your homework, and you gotta be like over prepared.
Yeah. And everyone who you may know who's been through this probably has great advice. Like, again, our good friend Sarah helped us out big time. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
Holy
Thank you,
shit.
Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
So really lean on people who've done it before. And I think everyone who's been through it is so empathetic because it's not an easy process. So reach out to us too if you have any questions.
Yeah, if you need help, hit us up. We'll help you navigate Tijuana border crossing.
So with that, our adventure in the U.S. can officially begin.
Vacation's over. Time to get to work.
I guess that's what next month's vlog's about.
That's right. Good luck.
Oh man.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Yeah, we got free tickets to the Brand Van concert happening this Monday night at the Pacific Palisades. You can all in if you want to answer a couple of questions. Mainly, what is Todd's favorite cheese?